Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we are reviewing part 1 of Kinda. Yeah, I do own a couple of the American releases. Now, if you watch my channel a lot, you know I'm not a big fan of Kinda. It's one of my least favorite classic Doctor Who stories. One of the very few classic Doctor Who stories that I generally don't think is very watchable. But to be fair, the bar between unwatchable classic Who and unwatchable modern Who is very different. Because even like unwatchable classic Who is, if I had to watch it, I could, whereas some of modern Who is so low that, nah. But I've been talking a while about needing to rewatch Kinda. I've only seen it once. It deserves a rewatch. And I was like, okay, I want to watch something. Heck with it, let's rewatch Kinda. So I rewatched part 1. I still don't think it's very good so far. It has moments though. I am going to talk about, starting off with, on positives, a few of the things I liked in part 1. Some of the incidental music and some of the incidental sound effects are really good. There are certain little musical cues it does. I especially noticed them like when Tegan's running around in what I call the Mara realm. There's some musical cues there that really do kind of set the tone there. Kind of seem otherworldly. There's some other little sounds and noises it makes every now and then that I did like. I think they fit what was going on in the story well. The Mara realm, it's a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I don't like it. On the other hand, you know, it's classic Doctor Who. They have to work with what they have. And it takes this minimalist approach, which I think would have worked better in black and white, like say with the Mind Robber, where that works really well. And like here, it does look cheap, but at the same time, it does give you that off-kilter feel that something is off, something's not right, that she's not, you know, even though she's on another planet, she's not in a normal realm, that there's something off about this place. It does a good job of conveying that. The fringing I don't really like. There's a lot of fringing right there, which on one hand looks bad, on the other hand adds to that kind of otherworldliness to it. Again, that feeling of something being off kilter. The bit where like the king and the queen are debating whether or not Tegan really exists or not, seems unnecessary and should have been a deleted scene. I don't, But the other guy she meets, the one that seems to be toying with her, he's good. I like him. He has an intensity in this episode that just works. And I could have sworn that was Wayne Alexander. I actually had to look it up because the actor playing him reminds me a lot of Wayne Alexander, who's in several episodes of Babylon 5 as various characters. But one episode in particular, one of my favorite episodes of television, is an episode called Comes the Inquisitor from season 2 of Babylon 5, where Wayne Alexander plays a character named Sebastian, who is an inquisitor for the Warlords, and he is just phenomenal in that role. And there's an intensity he brings to that role that this character in Kinda reminds me of. And he looks a lot like Wayne Alexander. They have these similar colored eyes and the way their face looks. I thought it was Wayne Alexander. I had to look. Turns out it's not, but I could have sworn it was. Because there's that same kind of intensity to his performance. And I really liked that. The guy playing that character and that character, the one that's manipulating Tegan here, phenomenal performance. Really liked it. Love that kind of manic intensity. Again, this doesn't have a lot to do because I don't think she was originally planned to be in this script, so they kind of have her sidelined for the episode. Adric is being irksome without being overly irksome. He's just a little annoying. Him and the 5th Doctor, of course, have their friction going. They usually have. Davison is good in this. I enjoyed that. The female Doctor character in this, she's good. She seems most developed of the 3 humans that are there. She actually seems like she's fleshed out a bit, and I like her performance. The other 2, the old man leader type, is very much, I'm the old man, stiff upper lip, proper British, I'm in charge type. You know, he's a very kind of two-dimensional character. The actor playing him is fine, but he's a very two-dimensional character. And the other guy, the younger one, who seems intense in a different way, I don't really much care for because he's a very two-dimensional character. The kind of the one that keeps trying to quote regulations and all. He just seems very two-dimensional. He doesn't feel very fleshed out in part one. Just we have to go by the rules, the rules, the rules. And he just seems like he's slowly becoming more and more unhinged. Especially that cliffhanger, I'm in command! And the fact that the captain, well, he might be unhinged. Oh, well, being in command will do him some good. I'm sitting there going, I don't think that's how that works. That doesn't sound like a good idea, no. The sets seem fine. I mean, it's all studio bound, even the outside stuff, and you can tell it's studio bound. But it's fine. The bit with the prisms, I never really cared for. Again, I like Davison in it. The whole bit with the primitive people thus far, with the DNA stuff like that. Because I don't remember a lot of Kenda, honestly. I didn't like Kenda. I found it very forgettable. I remember there's much more to the primitive people. I do remember them being telepathic. I do remember the Mara snake traveling from arm to arm and shaking hands and stuff. I remember the ending scene with the giant snake. It's just, I always found Kenda very forgettable. And part one hasn't done much to change my mind on it, to be honest. Again, I liked a few things. The part where Tegan's in kind of the Mara realm doesn't bother me as much because it does have some high points I like, even if I don't think it's executed the best. Yeah, this one just still isn't gripping me. I don't know when I'm going to get to part two. It just, I haven't suddenly spun around and been like, this is what everybody's talking about when they rave about Kenda. I'm watching part one and going, why do people like this story? Have they seen any other episodes of Doctor Who? I don't get it. It just goes to show that as much as I and others bash on modern Who, classic Who still had its episodes that just weren't great. And to me, this is one of them. So part one of Kenda, what do you think of it? Comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. That helps me pay the bills. So if you take a moment and check that out, there's a link to that down in the description below as well. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review, as well as a link to my Amazon wish list and my Amazon UK wish list. Those are down there as well. I want to give a shout out to Colin Coney and Stephen Crane. I appreciate their continued support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. Had a couple of them come back recently. Very glad to have them back. Unknown 289 and JLB Who. It's good to see them back again. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.